So for us, it's just having each other's backs. It's making sure that you're constantly communicating up there to give your other players confidence to get up in the ball and
Sophie Cunningham just did the unthinkable. And no, it wasn't on the basketball court. In a move nobody saw coming, she rocked an Arby's t-shirt during a WNBA post-game interview, and within hours, the internet exploded. Memes, tweets, and TikToks flooded in, and then came the shocker: 800,000 shirts sold in a single day. Fans, brands, and even rival players are now asking, how did one simple shirt break the WNBA's merch records overnight? Buckle up, because this wild story goes far beyond fast food and fashion. The tipping point. It was a bruising showdown against the Connecticut Sun, one of those games where the tension on the court crackled like lightning. Things got intense. Sophie Cunningham took a hard hit to the head, clear as day. Then, as if that wasn't enough, an arm reached out and yanked her by the neck. The crowd gasped, but from the officials, nothing. No foul call, no whistle, not even a glance of concern, just silence. Deafening, frustrating silence. Now Sophie had taken rough play before. She's no stranger to grit. But this time cut deeper. It wasn't just the physical pain, it was the injustice, the disregard, the message that said, tough it out and keep quiet. And for once, she chose not to. She grabbed her phone, opened TikTok, and let it rip. No filter, no fancy PR script, just raw, fired-up honesty. She tore into the referees with the passion of someone who'd had enough. She didn't try to be diplomatic. She didn't wrap her words in polite disappointment. She called them what she felt they were: slow, useless, and blind. And oh, did it land. The internet lit up like a bonfire. Within minutes, her video had over 1.3 million views. Comments came flooding in. Fans from all corners rallied behind her. Some were furious, others cheering, but most were in agreement. Sophie had said what needed saying. In a league that often asks players to be professional above all else, her honesty was a breath of fresh air. But then came the backlash. The WNBA slapped her with a $5,000 fine. Their official reason? Unsportsmanlike conduct. But unofficially, it felt like a warning. Watch your mouth. Rather than backing down, Sophie doubled down. If they wanted her to be quiet, they clearly didn't know her at all. Her response wasn't another video. It was a message, stitched in fabric. At the next game, Sophie walked into the arena like a woman on a mission. On her chest, in bold print, her shirt read, "Hot girls eat Arby's." No context, no explanation, just chaotic confidence. And that single moment broke the internet. People couldn't get enough. The phrase was bizarre, funny, and strangely empowering. Fans scrambled to buy the shirt. It sold out in all 50 states. Arby's jumped on the moment, hailing Sophie as an unapologetic queen. Memes exploded across Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, and beyond. The slogan became a symbol of rebellion, of personality, of not playing by the rules. By the end of the day, the shirt had raked in over $800,000 in sales. From what? A TikTok rant, a fine, and a fashion choice that flipped the script. Sophie had turned punishment into power. Instead of being silenced, she became a phenomenon. And the WNBA? They got none of it. No cut of the merch, no control over the narrative, just a front-row seat to the wildfire they tried to snuff out. In the end, Sophie didn't just clap back. She made a statement about being heard, about not being tamed, and about standing tall even when the system tries to keep you small. And she did it with a TikTok, a t-shirt, and a whole lot of truth. What was the aftermath of Sophie's reaction to the fine? Could it be a reward for standing up for justice? Let's delve into the details of how a supposed punishment became a blessing in disguise. The rebel who rewrote the game. While WNBA officials were caught off guard and scrambling for control, Sophie was already soaring, unfazed and unstoppable. They didn't dim her shine. They practically handed her the spotlight, and she stepped into it, like she was born for the moment. As the chaos swirled, Sophie didn't blink. Her confidence wasn't just seen, it was felt. In just a matter of days, her TikTok account exploded from a modest 300,000 followers to an overwhelming 1.7 million. The internet couldn't get enough of her. Clips of her boldness, her message, and that now famous Arby's shirt spread like wildfire. And then came the moment no one expected. Sophie's jersey sales began to outpace even Caitlin Clark's, the golden girl of the league and a household name. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't hype. It was power shifting in real time. So, what sparked this fire? Sophie did what so many were too afraid to do. She stood up, not just for herself, but for truth, for justice, for fairness. When Caitlin Clark was left exposed, seemingly without the protection or support one would expect for a player of her caliber, Sophie said, "Enough." And she didn't just say it quietly behind the scenes. She said it out loud, in full view of the world. She stood for every player who had ever been told to stay in line, to just play, to silence themselves for the sake of the game. She challenged the unwritten rule of silence that hovers over athletes, especially women. In doing so, she became more than a player. She became a symbol. Then came a moment that shook the internet again. Angel Reese, another outspoken and respected voice in women's basketball, reposted Sophie's now iconic Arby's moment with a caption that said it all. "They scared of real ones." And she was absolutely right. It wasn't just Sophie's actions that scared the league. It was the meaning behind those actions. Sophie wasn't just rebelling. She was radiating something leagues and brands can't manufacture: raw authenticity. The kind that breaks molds. The kind that can't be managed, scripted, or filtered. The kind that sparks movements. As Sophie's jersey sales soared and her digital presence surged, brands began lining up. She wasn't begging for attention. They were begging her. And one name stood out: Jeannie Buss, the powerhouse owner of the LA Lakers. Buss extended an invitation to join Women of Wrestling, calling Sophie the enforcer the WNBA needed. With that, Sophie wasn't just playing on hardwood, she was commanding entire arenas. And yet, how did the WNBA respond? Not by tightening officiating standards, not by addressing the lack of player protection, not by leaning into the moment and backing their athletes. Number their proposed solution? A potential ban on branded apparel. In other words, cover up the message. Patch the crack in the system with silence. But Sophie? She wasn't done. She doubled down, posting a new image. Burger in one hand, bold smile on her face, and a gold chain hanging from her neck that read, "5K Fine Club." A loud, stylish clapback to the fine they had slapped on her. It was witty, rebellious, and perfect. And word on the street? Arby's is ready to drop $2 million to make her the face of their national campaign. So yes, the league fined her. But the public? They crowned her. And Arby's? They might just immortalize her. Sophie Cunningham sometimes appeared in the spotlight for controversial reasons. Was she struggling on the court? Why was she out of the spotlight before now? Let's dig into the details of how Sophie rose to the spotlight. From background player to spotlight queen. There was a time, not so long ago, when Sophie Cunningham was just another hard-working athlete on a WNBA roster. Her name was there on the team sheet, printed in small letters, known mostly to devoted fans or close followers of the game. She hustled on the court, poured out effort like a seasoned pro, played with grit and heart, and gave her all every single game. But despite her dedication, the spotlight didn't follow her. The cameras weren't zooming in. The headlines weren't calling her name. She wasn't overlooked, but she wasn't celebrated either. Just solid, dependable. One of those players coaches love, but the media rarely talks about. A quiet storm on the court. A contributor, not yet a star. But oh, how quickly things can change. Sophie Cunningham has evolved from a solid WNBA player into a cultural force. She's now a viral sensation, dominating social media, sparking conversations and becoming a bold symbol of athlete empowerment. Her rise to icon status began with something simple yet powerful: a shirt. But it wasn't just clothing, it was a statement, raw, loud, and defiant. That single moment shifted how fans see her and how the league may need to see itself. Sophie isn't just playing the game anymore, she's reshaping its narrative, one unapologetic message at a time. When Sophie wore that Arby's branded shirt during a post-game moment, a simple t-shirt with an unexpected twist, it sent shockwaves through basketball culture and beyond. It wasn't part of a marketing campaign. It wasn't tied to any sneaker drop. It was raw, real, and somehow incredibly effective. In less than 24 hours, the shirt was sold out nationwide. 800,000 units gone, just like that. Think about that. A WNBA player, who until recently didn't dominate headlines, suddenly has the kind of merch demand that even top NBA stars would envy. Lines around blocks, online restocks are crashing websites. Fans are scrambling to find just one shirt. All for Sophie. All because of a moment that lit the internet on fire. And here's what made it so powerful. It wasn't staged. It didn't feel commercial. It felt like Sophie. It was her personality, her defiance, her humor, her confidence, all stitched into fabric. A single outfit turned into a lightning rod for attention. And from there, the floodgates opened. People started looking at her differently, watching her games, listening to her interviews, quoting her, supporting her. It was like the world had suddenly realized, Sophie isn't just good, she's electric. She doesn't just play, she commands attention. She doesn't just wear a jersey, she wears purpose. Her rise wasn't a slow climb, it was an eruption. One moment she was fighting for mentions, the next, she was the moment. The face of a movement, a symbol of fresh energy in women's sports. And what makes her story even more thrilling is that it wasn't handed to her. She didn't inherit fame. She created it through risk, personality, and fearlessness. Through a decision to express, not suppress. Through a shirt that turned heads, and then hearts. Sophie Cunningham's story is a reminder that sometimes all it takes is one spark to ignite a wildfire. One moment to change the narrative. One shirt to break the internet and the WNBA. And she's just getting started. But how did Sophie rise to become the star she is today? What is her worth? Let's dive into the details of how Sophie engraved her name in gold fonts in the sports industry. The making of Sophie Cunningham. Sophie Cunningham is not just another name on a basketball roster. She's a rising star whose journey through the world of professional basketball has been marked by grit, growth, and great achievements. Hailing from the United States, Sophie has made a name for herself on the court, and by 2025, her hard work has earned her an estimated net worth of around $2 million. Before stepping into the professional spotlight, Sophie showcased her talent at the college level, playing for the Missouri Tigers. During her time there, she didn't just play basketball, she dominated. Her performance in college made headlines and turned heads, solidifying her reputation as a sharpshooting guard with a fiery spirit. She became one of Missouri's most well-known players, and her success paved the way for the next big chapter of her career. In 2019, Sophie took her talents to the professional level when she was drafted 13th overall in the WNBA draft. The team that recognized her potential? The Phoenix Mercury, a franchise known for its competitive edge and rich legacy in the league. Sophie joined the Mercury with high hopes and quickly became a fan favorite. Her tough defense, fearless shooting, and unwavering energy made her a reliable asset on the court. Sophie spent 5 solid seasons with the Phoenix Mercury, wearing the team's colors with pride and giving her all in every game. During her time there, she experienced both personal and team growth, stepping up in big moments and maturing as a professional athlete. But her journey didn't stop there. Between 2019 and 2020, Sophie took a leap overseas, joining the Melbourne Boomers, a professional women's basketball team in Australia. This move showed her willingness to broaden her game and adapt to different styles of play. Competing internationally gave her new experiences and challenges, which helped shape her into an even more well-rounded player. Many athletes stick to one league, but Sophie proved she wasn't afraid to explore and evolve. In 2025, Sophie made another significant move in her career by signing with the Indiana Fever. It marked her 7th season in the WNBA, and though it was a change in teams, her passion and dedication remained the same. Her contract with the Fever was a 1-year deal worth $100,000, a respectable figure reflecting her consistent performance and value in the league. This came after she had signed a 2-year extension with Phoenix in 2023, which earned her a total of $304,500. By the end of the 2025 season, Sophie's total base salary from the WNBA stood at about $637,780. While some stars chase millions, Sophie's journey has been more about steady growth, loyalty to the game, and building a strong foundation for the future. But Sophie Cunningham isn't just known for her stats. She's also admired for her leadership, toughness, and the spark she brings to every game. Whether she's draining three-pointers or diving for loose balls, she plays with heart, and that's what fans love about her. As she continues her career with the Indiana Fever, many are excited to see what the future holds for her. Will she extend her contract and stay with the Fever? Could she return to play internationally again? Whatever comes next, one thing's for sure. Sophie Cunningham's story is far from over. From college standout to international competitor to trusted WNBA veteran, she's proving that with determination and resilience, you can carve out a meaningful and impactful legacy, on and off the court. Despite being efficient on the court, Sophie didn't get to the spotlight until much later. How did she become famous? Let's find out. How Sophie Cunningham took over the WNBA spotlight. In the 2019 WNBA draft, Sophie Cunningham was selected as the 13th overall pick, a solid choice, though not the flashiest. That year, she joined the Phoenix Mercury and quickly established herself as a tough, high-energy player with a scrappy edge. For 5 years, Sophie battled on the court for the Mercury, becoming a dependable part of their lineup. But in early 2025, a new chapter began when the Indiana Fever acquired her in a trade, one that would prove to be a game-changer not only for Sophie, but for the WNBA as a whole. Her time with the Fever didn't take long to heat up. Known for her fearless playing style, Sophie quickly earned a reputation as the team's enforcer, the kind of teammate who always has your back. That reputation took center stage during a fiery June 17th matchup against the Connecticut Sun. In a heated moment, Connecticut's rookie guard, J.C. Sheldon, poked Fever superstar Caitlin Clark in the eye. Instinctively, Sophie leapt into action. She forcefully shoved Sheldon to the floor, making it crystal clear that messing with Clark would not go unanswered. The referee didn't hesitate to eject Sophie from the game, but the internet was just getting started. A video clip of the altercation went viral within hours. On TikTok, Instagram, and X, formerly Twitter, fans debated whether she was a hero or a villain. But one thing was undeniable: people were watching. Almost overnight, Sophie became one of the most talked-about figures in women's basketball. Sports journalist Bobby Barak, writing for Outkick.com, noted the incredible impact of the moment. According to him, Sophie more than doubled her social media following on both TikTok and Instagram in just 2 days. Even more jaw-dropping, she gained over 500,000 new followers on TikTok within the first 24 hours alone. The buzz didn't stop at social media. Her jersey sales skyrocketed, turning her name into one of the hottest in the league. Fans who hadn't paid much attention to her before now rushed to learn who she was. What they found was more than just a fiery competitor. Sophie's blend of strength, style, and charisma made her impossible to ignore. Burak also pointed out something even deeper. Sophie is one of the very few WNBA players who has publicly and consistently stood by Caitlin Clark during her challenging 2 seasons in the league. In a sport where Clark has stirred controversy simply by existing as a popular, widely covered rookie, having someone like Cunningham visibly defend her made waves. Sophie wasn't just backing a teammate, she was symbolizing loyalty, toughness, and boldness in a league still working to grow its fan base. Combined with her striking looks, magnetic presence, and willingness to speak her mind, Sophie Cunningham might just be what the WNBA has been looking for. A second star to pair with the league's most headline-grabbing player, Caitlin Clark. Now, with Cunningham in the spotlight, the Fever have 2 of the most talked-about players in women's basketball, each representing different sides of the same story. One, a prodigy with a sniper shot, the other, a fearless protector with fire in her eyes. And together, they may just rewrite the rules of what it takes to be a star in the WNBA. Sophie's recent activities have shown that she is intentional about having her fame in her own way. Let's take a look at the new niche for fame, where basketball meets rebellion. A new era begins. Sophie Cunningham is no longer just a basketball player. She's no longer just another jersey on the court. She's become something bigger, something bolder. She's a force of personality, a walking message, a living movement. Sophie represents what it looks like when athletes stop waiting for permission and start claiming their space, loudly, proudly, and unapologetically. On the hardwood, she still brings the same unrelenting energy. She dives for loose balls with reckless abandon, lifts her teammates with passionate leadership, and turns up the crowd with that signature blend of fire and fun. Her presence is electric. But now, there's more. Sophie isn't just playing the game anymore. She's redefining it. These days, she's also the life of the pregame tunnel, the queen of viral TikToks, and the reason thousands of new fans are tuning in. Whether she's dancing mid-practice, shouting on the sidelines, or hyping her squad through social media, Sophie is everywhere. And people can't get enough. It's like she's serving up personality the same way Arby's serves curly fries, hot, irresistible, and with that extra signature kick. Then came that shirt. At a recent Chicago Sky game, she showed up once again in what's now being called the shirt. A bold, unforgettable piece that doesn't just catch the eye. It sears an image into the memory. It wasn't just an outfit. It wasn't just style. It was a statement, a battle flag, a call to arms. With one simple look, she flipped the script. She didn't say a word, but the message was deafening. I'm here. I'm not silent. And I'm not going anywhere. And in that moment, everything changed. What followed was a whirlwind. One foul, one fine, one defiant outfit, one tidal wave of media buzz and fan support. But the real shift wasn't in the headlines. It was in the questions now being asked. The focus has shifted from asking who Sophie Cunningham is to whether the WNBA can handle the powerful voices it helped create. Sophie's iconic shirt wasn't just fashion. It was a symbol of defiance, truth, and raw feminine strength. As players bring their full, unfiltered selves, voices, passions, and politics, the league faces a challenge. Can it embrace this wave of authenticity? Sophie may be one player, but her unapologetic presence resonates deeply with fans, signaling a larger cultural shift. The real question now is whether the system is ready to evolve or risk being left behind by the very stars it built. This isn't just about basketball anymore. It's about culture, identity, ownership. It's about athletes refusing to be silenced or sidelined when the spotlight is finally on them. It's about challenging the status quo and demanding more respect, more space, more freedom. And if the WNBA doesn't adapt, if it can't keep up with the revolution that players like Sophie are leading, it won't just be a missed opportunity. It could be the league's unraveling. Because you can fine a player, you can criticize a shirt, but you can't stop a movement. And right now, Sophie Cunningham is the movement, bold, loud, unshaken, and ready to burn down the old playbook. One game, one post, one fearless moment at a time. So, what do you think about Sophie Cunningham's activism and her rebellion-induced fame? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.